I wonder what the hell I'm gonna read today. A shooting or some looting, people rooting either side away. Maybe a murder that I heard of, they try to justify the dread. Makes me wanna turn around, drag myself right back in bed.
This content is for informational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained on here constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer by Draper, Goren, Holm, or any third-party service provider to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments whatsoever.
Hey everyone, it is me. We are here. Joseph is here too. Say hi, Joseph.
Hey, what's up?
Boom, boom, boom. We're recording.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
I am recording this on the computer now.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Boom. All right. It says it's recording. Boom, 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 boom. I am apparently recording.
The entire bottle of control. They're all exactly the same.
Crypto art, and then what it really is an NFT.
Wow. Eddie wants to slap the bag.
So this is the next best thing.
DeFi is going to be a bubble.
It's provably scarce.
With Mad Dog.
Crypto, gold, and silver.
Transparent substance.
Take my money, start a war with it.
Without further ado.
Cheers to you, brother.
Get shit done. Because the system has to collapse before that.
My corona.
Cheers. I feel much better now.
Cheers.
Wow, that was heavy.
Boom! For some reason, even though I've seen that intro 8,000 times, it caught me off guard to see my face pop up on the screen. I guess that's the kind of day I'm having or something. I woke up way too early this morning after not sleeping last night. So I feel tired.
I didn't think you ever got sleep.
It's only 5 o'clock here, but I feel super tired. How's it going, dude?
Good. You?
Doing great. Welcome to Blockchain and Booze. Holy crap. Jim just posted the longest message in there. I'm going to have to go through it. Long thread. Jim, thank you for everything. You're one of the people that were in the LA Blockchain Summit chat, like the whole event. It was awesome. But before we get started, welcome to Blockchain and Booze. This is episode number 85 weeks straight, which is mind-blowing and really exciting. Jacob Katzoff, if you're watching us from YouTube or on LinkedIn or everywhere else, hop into our system at meet.blockchainbooze.io so you can see us in person. Big thank you to Lunar Crush, who is streaming this, and to Blockchain Radio, who replays this and streams this as well. Big fans of both of them, and you should check them out. I'm sharing the link in the general chat if you're back there right now to hop backstage, and we may let you on stage to have a conversation and join us if you'd like to do that. Alex Leo is asking you, Matt, to blink once if you thought Tulane was going to beat UCF last week.
Oh, no. I'm not going to be able to blink now.
Well, just blink lots of times, not just once. So I've already got a couple people jumping backstage, which is awesome. So I might throw some of you guys on. But what we wanted to do this episode was do a little bit of a recap for LA Blockchain Summit. Those of you that don't know, I'm one of the founders of Draper, Goren, Holm. We're an early stage blockchain fund that invests in early stage startups in the space. And we just did LA Blockchain Summit last week, and it was insane. So for a virtual conference, it was really great. I know that some of you, are getting jaded, including myself, on virtual events, but it's the world we live in right now. And we haven't tallied everything yet, but what we do know is that there was over 1 million streams on just the main event YouTube situation. So over 1 million streams in 3 days, which is mind blowing, and I think that beats all records for blockchain conferences. So that was absolutely bonkers.
It was a fantastic turnout.
Yes, and big ups to Matt. This was the first event, full big giant event, since he's joined DGH as our director of events. So most
No
of the
pressure.
weight fell on his shoulders. Yes, exactly. No pressure. So, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm home alone with the kids, so I didn't want to have a drink. I felt that was irresponsible, so I'm having a root beer. So here we go. Hey, really quickly, let's grab Ethan Tur is backstage. Let's throw you on. Ethan
Ethan has been everywhere lately. I've seen him on Twitter, on LinkedIn, in my inbox. I see you everywhere, Ethan.
I know, it's nice to. I actually saw this event because you posted on your LinkedIn, so I wanted to stop by.
Thanks for doing it.
Yeah. What do you do, Ethan?
I thought the blockchain summit was awesome. My favorite part was networking and being able to meet all these interesting people in the crypto space. So definitely a highlight for me. A little bit about me. I just recently published a book about cryptocurrency called The Next Gold Rush, The Future of Investing in People. So I'm trying to get people thinking more about social currencies. I feel like we're not really addressing that use case in the crypto world much.
I like it.
And I'm hoping that people start seeing that as the key to mass adoption.
So here, check this out. We got to think about, break this down for a second. So social currencies and social tokens and things like that are like the next big thing. I will show you, I've got to dig this up. So hold me to it, everyone who's watching. I've got to have screenshots and mock-ups and pictures of this. I hope I have it somewhere. If not, I'll try to reach out to my old partner. But my crowdfunding platform and company that I launched in 2008, so 13 years ago or whatever, had one of the banners at the top of the page said, "Turn your social capital into real capital." And so we were already talking about how the internet could basically take your social network, take your community, like everyone talks about community in crypto, and turn it into actual money for your startup or money to fund your business or just, business, right? So it's pretty cool. I'm a terrible reader, but if you send me the ebook, I'll try to take a look. Matt will probably read it. He's a great at shit like that.
I will definitely.
Does his homework.
Yeah, totally. Happily.
I would love to check it out, and maybe you'll come back and we'll do a breakdown and talk about the book.
Yeah, actually, Tim Draper endorsed the book. It's he's the first endorsement on the top of the back of the book.
No way.
Yeah, so that was how I heard about LA Blockchain Summit, is because it was part of your guys' company. So it's cool. Like everything's so everyone knows everyone. Like it's all interconnected. So it's really cool to just be a part of this community.
Blockchain technology.
I appreciate it. I think what's really, really cool is that we're going to, no matter what we do in real life, we kind of like have to, we've got to keep the virtual conferences alive, right? Like we've got to keep that going. And I think that the in-person conference will happen and the virtual conference will happen at once. And that networking part is really, really cool. And what's even cooler about it is that it translates really well to the in-person conference too. So like I went to a conference that was using the same system years ago. Now, because it's been 2 years since I went to a real conference. And they were using the same system. It's called Brella. And you are able to, how like in that system, you were able to go like, "Ooh, I'd like to meet Matt." And it would be like, "Oh, suggest a time." And you could like say 5 o'clock, and then Matt would get a notification. He can say yes. And then you would just meet virtually. in the real conference app, you do the same thing, and then it would go to table number 17 on the expo floor at that time, and it would have like these numbers on each table, and it was like a speed dating session at the in-person conference. So I'm excited for that to happen, and for us to be able to get back to that kind of real life stuff and goof around and do it all. I know a lot of our friends were in New York last week doing just that, so I was a little bit jealous, but it was pretty great. Hold on, I'm just see. Thank you, Hussein. If you're online, come join us in the chat at meet.blockchainbooze.io, because it's happening. There's a lot of people in the chat. You know, what's crazy is that we always have so many people. What I kind of learned from the summit too is we'll have so many people who come and participate, but then just lurk in the shadows. Like I can see the numbers and I can see when there's thousands of people just watching. And then there's like 20 people in the chat that are super active. But those people in the chat are having the most fun, are making friends and getting business done. Oh, look at this. My mom's watching. I just noticed that in the chat. So I think it's to me, that's the most fun thing anyway of in-person conferences is, you know, hanging out in the hallways and doing all that stuff. So, you know, I think that's the coolest thing. So participate, meet people in those sessions, you know, chat in the chat, talk shit, have fun in a respectful way, of course. Don't be an ass. So somebody asked a question actually in the Q&A. So if you're with us in the backstage, I threw in Remo, which is meet.blockchainbooze.io. I threw the link in the chat if you want to try to jump backstage, and we'll kick Ethan off in a sec and bring somebody else from the community on. And also ask questions in the QA. Cool.
I had
Sorry,
a question for you guys before I get kicked off.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, do you have any other like events planned like this in the future? Because I feel like this was an awesome like virtual event. I love to, because I'm in Los Angeles, I love to attend more like in-person events in that area.
So I kind of like a few months ago drew the line with the COVID and all the stuff and all the things. And I said at the end of this year or at the latest January, I'm going to start going to other conferences. And because of, you know, Hanukkah is early this year and then Christmas immediately following, and my family goes all in on both. So pretty much the year is over with Thanksgiving also. So I think January, there's going to be a lot more. I think I'm going to try to figure out a way to do Blockchain Booze at least like once a month as an in-person thing. Maybe different cities that I'm traveling for conferences, but we'll try to stream it online at the same time so we can have some fun. I was talking to David Rankin. He's in the chat, one of our regulars, about that. But when it comes to the big conferences, we have the Global DeFi Summit, we have our Security Token Summit, and then we have LA Blockchain Summit, the really big one. We're trying to figure out next year's schedule for that kind of stuff. We will for sure do LA Blockchain Summit, the big one, again, live and in person, which will be epic. And then but we got to figure out the rest. But we definitely should do some in person. We'll definitely keep doing the really targeted stuff. And I think indefinitely we're doing Blockchain Booze. I feel like it's just a thing I do every week to hang out with my friends, and we should definitely do it. All right, man. I'm gonna throw you off, and I'm gonna add John from Lunar Crush is backstage. He'll probably join us the rest. Oh, dang! Ethan is so good. He just did it himself. John, what's up?
John, how are you?
Hey, Matt.
You haven't
nice
been
to see you
busy
guys.
at all lately, huh?
No. It's I mean, vacation basically. If I had to sum it up.
Wow.
John he's probably the one, all of Lunar Crush is probably the one group that's worked about around the clock and as insanely as Matt these last couple weeks.
I couldn't believe that you guys found time to come up on stage at LA Blockchain Summit. I for sure thought I needed a backup plan.
I don't know how we made it either. I'm going to be honest with you. But somehow we did. And that was a funny morning because we opened up the summit. Joe tells me the night before or whatever that he's going to interview me. And I'm like, okay, sure. And then right after we had another live stream, like literally 2 minutes after we hung up. And then that ended. And then Joe was back on moderating with the Adam Draper panel and all that. So that was a little bit of a busy morning.
I remember we were testing the streaming software because we'd never had multiple streams at the same time on the Lunar Crush feed. So I didn't know if the conference would just stop playing on your feed when you guys went live with the other thing. But there were 2 live feeds. They both stayed on, happening on your Twitter account at once. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, nor did we. We ran a test because we weren't sure. Yeah. We didn't want to mess up the summit and we didn't want to like overwrite anything. But it works. Apparently, if you have multiple StreamYard accounts, they can go into one Twitter, which is good to know. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Maybe next year we'll run multiple streams to the Twitter of the conference. You could have multiple sessions going all at the same time. That
one for each stage. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's think about how far we've come in the last few years in this space. I keep, I can't decide between these two views. I throw my hands up. So think about like the last few years in this space. We went from like, it was a weird novelty when there was like a meetup in LA that was crypto and everyone would show up because it's like, there's no crypto meetups, right? Then we had our one big event a year and there'd be like random meetups. I remember Lou Kerner, who's going to be on soon, set up the thing called Crypto Mondays that was happening all around the country in different places. And every Monday we had one in LA. And then cut to today, we can be doing our summit and all of our NFT friends were joining from New York because they're at the New York NFT event. While you guys are doing your live stream during the day. And at any moment in time, there's live content going on right now that's not blockchain and booze, that's crypto related. That would have been like the weirdest novelty in the world if you were like at a crypto event and you were like, oh man, I had to decide between 2 events. Like that didn't happen. There weren't 2 events in one night. There weren't 2 events in 1 week, when we were, if we're lucky.
Alon, it's so crazy to hear you talk about that because I remember when you first started doing blockchain and booze, it was when everyone was sent home because of COVID and there was no more live events, right? And then it was like, well, hey, let's keep the party going. And then this kind of became its own thing. Your LA Blockchain Summit kind of became its own thing online. And it's like we're kind of heading towards this. Well, some of it's going to be in person. Some of it's going to be online. Some of it is like this community around it. If it is in person, the community around it, the parties, the dinners, the this, the that, it's all like adding to like something that almost wasn't there before. There's now like a real community being built around crypto. And so what's crazy is like, fast forward to today, and I look at our own numbers. We have users right now in 213 countries. That's not our doing. We didn't advertise in 213 countries or anything like that. It's just like there's literal content and people for that content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's like kind of crazy when you think about it. Like we always used to think like, oh, well, we got to go live in the morning or at 5 or like it's like all hours now.
Yeah, there's pretty much. And what's cool too here is I was before I came on, I was joking. I'm drinking a root beer because I have the kids home alone, and I just feel weird drinking while I'm the sole parent home with the kids, being an adult and responsible. But like, there's people that join us from Australia, and they're having their coffee right now. There's people who watch it on YouTube afterwards because they're it's 4 a.m. for them and they can't. But like, it's truly global. And what you didn't catch, John, is we went. Just the YouTube video alone, the YouTube videos for the 3 days of the summit, add them up over 1 million streams. Like free, virtual, around the world, 1 million streams of the LA Blockchain Summit. That's fucking mind-blowing compared to what we did. Like I shared it and I was thinking about this because our biggest years when we've had 5,000-6,000 people at the convention center, if we put 1,500 seats in the big theater, it would be packed for like 1 or 2 sessions. And then the rest of the time, when there's like 700-800 people in the room, it looked empty, right? Like, because that's what a room full of thousands of seats looks really empty, even if there's 800 people there, right? So if you're thinking about that, at any moment in time, there were 10, 20, 30,000 people, concurrent watchers, 40, 50 in some sessions at the conference. 40,000 concurrent watchers, that's like 20x the number of people that could even fit in our biggest room we ever had, right? Like, so just the fact that it was global and free and let anyone around the world participate is just, it's crazy. I mean,
I love it. I love it. It's good to hear.
So, okay, but we started talking about Lunar Crush for a moment, but you being so busy, but we still haven't had you guys on since you launched the app, since you launched the Lunar token and all that stuff. You want to say something about it? Let's give it a little love. Although, I think the regulars here know about it, but
man, I don't even know where to start. I mean, so let's go back. About 2 weeks ago? I think 2 weeks ago tomorrow. So not even 2 weeks. We launched a new brand. So you might have seen on our Twitter. It's pinned to our Lunar Crush Twitter. We have a new brand video that's up there. But it's like we have all like our share images, the way we speak. There's visuals, like there's so many elements of it. And Norman on our team, our head of brand, who we need to introduce you to sometime, wrote a nice blog post on it yesterday, a Medium post explaining the whole brand launch. He comes from a big brand background as well, like running Verizon's brand, that kind of thing. And so we're kind of trying to plus where we're going and where crypto is going. We're trying to really step up some of the branding that you see. And so this was a big deal on its own. Considering we tweet like 20 times a day too, that changes everything for us. Yeah. And so, so we launched a new brand. We launched a new lunarcrush.com, which also now has a mobile app on iOS and Android. We launched that all at the same day. And we launched a token, Lunar token. It's a utility token that users can earn on lunarcrush.com or the app, or a combination of the two. We launched everything at one moment. We literally tweeted out everything at the same time. We did emails to all of our existing users at the same second. We launched everything live, same second. There was no early launch whatsoever to anyone, other than our own internal team testing, making sure that it was live. And so we built this system out, and we did something totally like different and new in so many different ways.
Sorry, I was looking at that on the other side of the room while you were talking, and I got too excited.
See, now I lost my train of thought, man. I'm done. I don't know.
We launched it all at once. Everything all at once.
Yeah. So we launched it all at once, and we had a couple 100,000 users when we launched. So we've been doing pretty good. That's a good number, and that's we've been growing really well. And we thought that was pretty good. We didn't know that we'd be adding to our entire user base at that level every day since. And so now we have millions of users.
My guess, I remember saying something to you guys where I was like, you're going to end up with like 4 or 5x the number of users the first day or two of launch. And I saw the actual numbers a few days later, and it was way more than I was even expecting.
Way more. And there's so many things. I mean, I think we've literally like matured and grown a couple years in the last 2 weeks. But we've also built at least a year worth of building in the last 2 weeks as well. Because some of the things, it's interesting. I think, was it Mike Tyson or someone was like, all bets are off when you get punched in the face kind of thing. We tested like 10x growth. We didn't test to this level. And we didn't know that we were going to grow this fast. I mean, you might remember like early days of Twitter, really early days of Coinbase, like apps that grow at a certain scale. Like as an example, an unoptimized image on our homepage cost us $10,000. Because of serving so many people. We spent so much money on Google CAPTCHA. We actually built our own CAPTCHA.
I saw that the last couple of days. It's so cool. Move the coin. Yeah, move the coin of the day onto the moon.
Yeah. So one of the things that we did too, the way that we did this, we didn't just launch a token. We didn't do it like an IDO or anything like that. Nothing early. Again, started from zero. And when we did this, it was, we wanted to build the token into the application, and not say coming soon, not say in 6 months, we promise, here's our fake roadmap that is never going to be true. We're going to, we wanted to day one, fair launch, integrate the application, make it real, and get it out into the world. And we'll see what happens. And so we built a leveling system in Lunar Crush to where, like, when a user signs up, they're level 1 user. They have no Lunar. They haven't earned anything yet. And they can earn Lunar by participating, by sharing posts, by staying on the site and interacting, by performing certain tasks, whether it be onboarding or, for example, sharing a test. Another thing that we tested and we launched with was, hey, let's drive people to the LA Blockchain Summit, because we knew we were speaking at it. We knew that it's a great event for the community. They can, it's totally aligned with our values of, like, we want to educate you on the crypto community and understand that there's so much that you need to learn. You can't just come in and, understand crypto one day. And so LA Blockchain Summit was amazing. And so we said, you know what, let's give users 50 points if they share the LA Blockchain Summit post. And so, and we ended up having a couple 100,000 shares of it. And so, just to give an example, and I give that as an example of,
I was
like,
wondering where those
just for a couple
million
days.
users came from, because only like
There's a lot of that.
900,000 of those follow me, so the rest needed to come from somewhere.
They were everywhere. They're coming from all over the world, which is awesome, because now it's not just LA Blockchain Summit; it's like the global blockchain summit, right? So,
yeah.
So we built a system where users, as they perform these tasks, they get certain points. And every day, about an hour and a half ago, those calculate, and those, depending on how many users used the site that day or the app, and how many points all of those users earned. You just got an alert now, probably.
I have a phone full of Lunar Crush alerts. Literally all Lunar Crush alerts.
There you go. And so every day you're getting those alerts saying, hey, congratulations, you just earned X Lunar, right? And so as the user base grows, as more people earn points, as more people participate, the level and volume of Lunar that's earned does come down. However, over time, if people keep participating more and more, there's a couple things that happen. They get multipliers on the points that they earn for loyalty. And as they start to level up, once they hit 35 Lunar, they become a level 2 user. Once they hit 100 Lunar, they become a level 3 user on Lunar Crush. And those users can now participate in a weekly drop. So if they keep participating, there's 65,000 Lunar given out every day, and there's 50,000 given out in this weekly drop to only the top 10% of participants on the platform. And so all of this, we launched with all of this day one. And we got listed on exchanges, which I can't talk about, but we did a whole bunch of things.
Well,
like
but
all within the first few hours.
The reason why I'm so in love with this is we can dive into, like, the whole redefining the business models and participation, rewarding people that Web3 and crypto enable. But I also, just from a fun standpoint, like, I don't have to tell people go and buy Lunar or don't buy Lunar or whatever because of, weird crypto regulatory reasons. And I'm not going to, I've purposely never told anyone buy Lunar. I tell people to go earn Lunar. The whole point is you get to go participate. And for the participation, like, everyone knows, I'm wearing the shirt today. This wasn't on purpose, right? Wow. This is my vintage Lunar Crush logo. There's now been 2 logo changes since then. But I'm a super fan, right? And I tell everyone to be using it. Now, for being a super fan, for using it, and for sharing and participating in our space, you earn Lunar as a reward, right? So I don't have to tell people to go buy it. Don't go buy it. Go and actually earn it. That's the real thing. Now you're participating in the space, you're learning. And like I told somebody on Twitter, like an hour before this, just participating in this space, and even failing, like making bad trades, doing whatever you do, learning about the space, buying NFTs, whatever, you're first in line for the future, jobs that are out there. And so I love that people that participate get to earn it. So
There's
sorry for
another
the
side to
tangent.
this too.
Yeah.
There's another side to this too, and that's that, like, you know, what we look at this like all the time. We built a whole analytic system to understand what's happening from the ground up, to understand, like, from our side, well, what are people claiming they're Lunar? Are they earning too much, not enough? Are people gaming the system? One of the things that happened when we launched was we found that people are going, oh my God, free money. Free money. I have found the holy grail of paying myself for the rest of my life. I'm going to earn $1,000 a day. We saw it, all the spam videos, got it. None of that stuff works. It's all nonsense. But what we did realize is, well, you know what? There's some tweaks we need to make. We need to reward more on-site behavior. We need to be building a sustainable ecosystem. Great that we have users from all over the world. And that's awesome. But we want to build something that's going to make sense long-term. And so what we've enabled is really like a foundation right now for saying, like, okay, right now you're rewarded for time on site. That'll also come down. Not to zero, but it'll come down. You can refer some friends to the app. That's come down already, because that was people were trying to game that. We have a very solid way of understanding spammers and scammers. Their accounts get banned very, very quickly. But I would say from a foundational perspective, like, we're looking at more like it's a new way to work if you think about it. So we collect like 2.5 million to 3 million posts a day right now, probably 4 million if you count spam. And so all of that together, we score every single post, right? So we use an AI, like, machine learning model that we built out that says this is bullish or bearish, and this is spam or not, right? We are going to leverage our entire community to train, and they'll get rewarded for it. So that's just an example of, like, there's elements that we can do at scale that were never possible before, because everyone is vested that's a user. We can do things that are offsite as well. We can reward people with all sorts of partnerships and events and access and all these different things. So many different possibilities as we move forward. And some of the mundane tasks, even like reporting a bug or a feature request, where, you know, everyone talks about integrating customer feedback into your roadmap. But what if you could actually incentivize them to be a part of it? And then what if, you know, even longer term, what if governance plays such a big role in this? And we want the community to drive, like, how much should it be to be in a certain level? How long should it take? What are the features you get? And really involve that community over time. And that's just kind of, I don't think that's like a point in time. That's more like over time, we're going to be building these things out. And I could tell you we have like a 3-year roadmap, literally a 3-year roadmap month by month. But I know we change it every day. And we know that we're just kind of listening, and it's sort of a direction, and then we're moving there. But yeah, hey man, that's,
you guys, I will say
yeah.
that, like, I was joking around before you came on about reading and stuff like that, because Ethan, who came on earlier, was talking about his book, and I said, like, I don't read books, but I was mostly joking, but I kind of telling the truth. But like, I remember one of the times when I met with you and Joseph and I went to out your direction. We hung out with you, and you guys were like, hey, before lunch, we want to take you through like the roadmap. And you had the most legit roadmap presentation like I've probably ever gone through with a startup, for sure. But even like when I worked at Amazon or when I worked at MySpace back in the day, like the most real hardcore product guys. And I remember like literally thinking that, like, if I didn't know you guys before that and know how well you guys executed, that would have scared the crap out of me, because it's like you're doing too much preparation, like almost like, you know, I don't know, everybody's met those people who like will make the like 200-page business plan but never launch the website. But like you guys just consistently execute, like you did the launch and you guys made shit happen, and you fixed everything, right? And you're constantly evolving and working. Most groups wouldn't be able to move that fast and do both things, right? It's usually one or the other.
I think that our team is really like versed in different areas, but it's like, I guess there's a couple of pieces of advice maybe I'd give to the listeners here right now. So, because there's probably lots of people that are listening that are like, I want to do a crypto startup. Okay, like where do you start?
Like
all of them are like, I'm gonna pitch a VC and get $10 million, and I'm gonna retire in 6 months after we get acquired. It's gonna be easy, you know, because my idea is so great. right?
Wait. You want to know how easy it is, everyone? Hold on. I just had an idea while you were talking earlier. I'm gonna visualize it for everyone. You know how easy it is? Watch this. Boom. That's it. All they have to do.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Amazing, man. Amazing. So what? I
swear that was a rubric.
So right. So like when you're getting your product started, stop planning in quarters. Cut it out. This whole space doesn't work that way. Plan month by month, and meet once a week with your team, and redo it. And build. But you got to redo your product roadmap. You have to have one, or your host, because you will build the wrong way. But you have to do a roadmap that is month by month. That's the biggest piece of advice I would give to someone. The other thing I would say is, if it's in crypto, I have people that message me every day. Hey, dude, should I get a job in crypto and this and that? And I'm like, cut the crap. You're not working 9 to 5. And it doesn't mean you're working 30 hours a day. It means you may have a meeting at 2 a.m. You have to be ready for that. And that alone already, to me, like, you already know most people aren't cut out to work in crypto. Just that alone, because you got to take that call in Dubai. I mean, you probably have calls to Joseph all the time, and it's like, what time is it?
It's really weird with the time change now. We're exactly 12 hours apart. So I end up having, all these conversations with him late at night, my time, which is not that big of a deal, but also early in the morning, my time. Because for me also, that's not that big of a deal, but I'm the weirdo anomaly of a person that does both. But you have to kind of be used to it. Actually, a few questions for Matt. We should jump in really quick and talk to Matt for a second about the conference, because Matt, you went from working at Disney, like one of the most corporate-ish corporate places in the world, to working with us. We did tell you, we warned you, we've done this with other people that have worked with us about 1,000 times, that the crypto space is weird, that everything is last minute, that most of the time will be pretty chill and hours will be weird and flexible and cool. But the last couple weeks to the summit, the last week of the summit, the last couple days of the summit is always insane. Nobody does anything in this space until the last minute or beyond the last minute. So did we oversell it, undersell it, and how does it feel?
No, you were definitely spot on. I thought, really, how bad could it be, right? I mean, first of all, this is a hobby of mine. I enjoy crypto. I love researching blockchain. The last minute stuff. I mean, Disney does an outstanding job, guest facing, making everything look perfect. But underneath the water, that duck's feet is paddling like crazy to keep everything going. It's just the way it is. So I thought, how bad could it be? But man, within the last week, I would say I got about 20 phone calls regarding sponsorship. And I'm like, I can't squeeze you in. And not just 20 phone calls from like the US. It was, to your point, I mean, European time zones, Asian time zones. It was all around the clock. It was coming from WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram. It was everywhere. Right. But I love it. That's the kind of stuff I love. I love working underneath that kind of pressure. I hate the mundane, and crypto and blockchain is anything but. It's constantly changing, and it changes on a dime. So you have to be flexible and nimble, and be willing to adjust as quickly as possible.
It's so
it's very true.
It's totally true. It's something you don't really get until you do it, right? Like, one of the things we're frustrated with one of our, one of the service providers for the conference was like, we told, like, every time we tell every service provider, every person, that shit changes last minute, expect this to break, expect people to not show up sometimes, whatever, like things will happen. So like, be able to plan accordingly. And they go, yeah, no problem. And then the day of, we're like, okay, we need to change this one thing. And they're like, oh my God, wait, it's too last minute. And we're like, what are you talking about? It's too last minute. Like, this is what we told you was going to happen. But Matt, Chris from Calamant, how do you pronounce Chris's last name? Do you know how to Deschenes,
right?
Deschenes.
Yeah, I think
Chris,
so.
if you're click on the link and join us on stage in a minute if you can, because we like you. But Chris asked, what do you learn from your first summit, and anything you'll be ready for next time, and what funny stories you got? Anything funny from backstage? Anything weird?
So I've learned that Alon and Joseph are perfectionists, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just it is what it is, and I know how to handle it moving forward. That's probably one of the biggest. But man, I'll be honest with the sponsors that we had to deal with the speakers we had to deal with. I mean, everybody was fantastic this go around. I don't know if it was because of the virtual conference setting and there was a little flexibility there, a little bit more room for flexibility anyways. But I mean, we had Europeans taking or being part of a session while sitting in a Singapore hotel room, right? Or people that didn't really have good reception in their apartment complex or their condo, going down to the local internet cafe just to join the session and be a part of it. So I really, man, if the rest of the conferences if everyone's this flexible, I mean, man, we'll be set.
It's crazy how things have kind of changed and with the virtual nature of things and stuff like that. But I think that it's just like become normal. Like, and everyone just goes like, you give me 5 minutes to find good Wi-Fi, I'll be at any conference in the world anytime. Like I don't know. I've woken up at like 3 a.m. to speak on a panel at a conference on the other side of the world to notice my Wi-Fi doesn't work in my house. and I've now figured out how to like upgrade my phone to the best possible way I could, data wise, and use my phone as the hotspot. And for situations like that, and I get it to work. But like, I think that's just life now, right? Like if you,
so I got a question for both you guys. So let's say it's a year from now and it's the next LA Blockchain Summit. What does it look like? Everyone's used to be, I think I went to your first Crypto Invest Summit like way back. It was years ago. And I was like, oh my God, look, it's Tim Draper. That's so cool. And like not the book signing one, but way before. It was like a year or two ahead of that one. Yeah. But like, everyone was sitting side by side in LA Convention Center, flying in, getting hotel rooms, all of that stuff. What does this look like a year from now? Because we're sitting here it kind of feels like the dawn of a metaverse becoming something. Because a few months ago it was kind of like this abstract thing, and now it's like it's really moving into the middle. I mean, what do you think a summit looks like a year from now?
I think there's going to be both. Like, I think that essentially everyone will in our kind of summit. I think about this, actually. I think there's going to be multiple stages, and I don't mean stages like multiple stages at the conference. There'll be that too. But the main stage is going to be in a system like it was last time, right? Like in this system where people can watch it, people can chat with each other, and people can set up meetings with each other, whatever. And if you're virtual, attend it for free, watch the main stage content live anywhere in the world. That's awesome. Then there's going to be people that are there in real life and participating. But I think there will probably also be kind of like we streamed it into your Twitter account or the Lunar Crush Twitter account. And it was, streamed onto other media partner websites, like OKCoin listed it on their website and stuff like that, which is really cool. Crowdfund Insider, our friends had it on their website. I think there'll be I was looking at land today in Decentraland. I know the Boring Stone team bought some Decentraland land, is going to set up some cool stuff there. I know that Fame Lady Squad, who's come in here, we've been talking about Decentraland land and Metaverse land and having live concerts. So if a certain subset of us wants to hang out in the Metaverse and do this, essentially the same thing we were doing in that other system and chatting with each other, but like with our avatars and doing things like that, it's going to happen. Like for sure, 100%, that stage, the main stage, will also be available there. I mean, one of the reasons why I didn't sleep last night is because I was in 3D editing software trying to learn how to make t-shirts for my avatar on Decentraland. Like, that's what I was doing last night.
Wow. Cool.
Great use of my time. But
Love it.
I'm not busy at all. But like, that's what I'm doing. So clearly it's like, it's a thing. I don't know.
You know what's interesting, Alon, is like, so I spoke at a Cardano summit like a month ago, and there was something like, I had been in some of these metaverse projects before, but there was some, like, I don't even remember what they were using. It was some B2B software but it was a metaverse just for the summit. And I was freaking out because, like, just like this, how we're doing a stream, sure, there was a stage in their metaverse where this broadcast, it was looked like a drive-in movie almost, like it's showing in there, and you could see all the other characters in there. And a couple things made me go, oh my gosh, this is huge, because there was kind of areas where people kind of congregated and you could kind of form a group, and you could start chatting with the people around you. And like, that's while someone's presenting. So you have these kind of sub conversations that are happening about that presentation in kind of groups, all seamless in real time. But what was
when we're
also
sitting
so
in the crowd, do I not lean over and whisper something ridiculous in your ear, or talk shit, or be like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing, dude. I can't wait for this to happen. Like, that's real life conference.
Yeah. But here's what the other thing that was super cool was, because like, nothing has to actually be live. Like, the main stage had live, but they had these other portals to other kind of worlds. And in those other worlds, there's other stages. And what was crazy was there was, like, the product manager was live on the main stage. But if you wanted to hear a different topic, product related as well, they had the same product manager record other presentations that were playing in other worlds at the same time. So you could kind of have these different things, chatting with different people, moving around. And it's just like it hit me. I'm like, oh my God, like, this is totally something different versus, like, we've got comments going here and it's rather flat and it's linear. It's not
even just from, think about, like, from 2 years ago, we started off blockchain booze, doing it at that big Zoom meeting. We got Zoom bombed with some porn and some crazy shit, and we had to figure that out. We figured that out. We got a few weeks in. Then we found a bunch of different sites similar to the Remo platform that we use now, where you can jump to the tables and stuff like that. And the tables were a game changer, right? For the ability to bounce around and the actual visualization that they are tables and chairs, like, helped and was important. And most of the, even just walking around Decentraland style, like Roblox style, walking around the world, the metaverse world, was kind of janky for those conversations. But I played with Decentraland yesterday, and Yoni and I, who were working on Boring Stone together and all that, like, we walked up to each other. And I was actually FaceTiming him at the time, and I hung up the FaceTime, and we just continued the conversation in Decentraland, and we walked around Decentraland talking to each other. It was insane.
Awesome.
So much
super fun.
Yeah. My kids actually took over the controls because they were better at controlling it than I did, because it's the same as Roblox.
I sat through something yesterday where it's, I mean, like, you know, a lot of these elements in these virtual worlds are NFTs, right? And the whole thing around, like, in-app commerce too is pretty crazy. I saw a demo yesterday of something that you know, it was all around. Well, I can't say too much, but, like, you could broadcast in it and do live streams and things like that. Like, you could actually take what you're already doing here and do it in this virtual world. But there's, like, certain modes that, like, put it in AR in, like, the real world on a mobile device. Yeah. And so you can kind of play in AR or not. You can also buy stuff and integrate your token into it in real time while you're in the virtual world. So you could think of all this stuff happening all in real time while users are presenting and buying and doing all sorts of stuff.
And the guys in Super World are overlaying that onto the real world with NFT marketplaces and purchasing and things like that, but also with metaverse style. So if you're home, you can go to that place and participate also. And it's like this combination of all these things that's so cool. Actually, the people in the chat, think about this and let me know your thoughts. Like, should we start moving blockchain booze into one of these metaverse things instead of the tables in Remo? Like, should we be walking around Decentraland? Should we have a blockchain booze bar in Decentraland or the Sandbox or somewhere else? Or Chris, if you're listening, I think that would be an awesome thing to be built in Alexandria or Paradox or what's it called again? I keep mixing up the names, but there's a few of them. Mr. Suit said it would be fun to try. I can't. I think Mr. Suit would probably have the coolest avatar there too. He knew exactly what I was doing, by the way. He responded. He said that shirt had a stripe, was a striped shirt, right? Like, he was in the chat knowing exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to make my avatar look like Punk Ape Strong.
I've got an idea for you, and I'm going to steal part of it from what Rick R is saying on YouTube. He says you should have Boring Stone Island and Nifty Island. And I'm going to say, since you got Joseph in Dubai, you should build the World Islands. And like build these different lands and build a different island for each of your guests that stays forever. That might be fun. And then if they come back, it's back on that island.
That would be cool.
You know what? That would be so rad. What's it called now? There's the guys that are doing the really cool metaverse on Wax, and it's in the they're using not Roblox, the Minecraft world to do it. And it's all like they every episode of their show, they talk about being grateful for what they have and all this stuff. And it Uplift World, and because it's supposed to uplift you and stuff like that. But you're in this super cool world, and they actually have like, it's actually turned into a weird thing. And it was a little awkward for me, and they spun it to feeling pretty good, but they still got to convince me it's not culty, because every Sunday morning they meet there now and they do this thing where everyone puts a brick in the wall and talks about what they're thankful for in the metaverse, right? And they're all over the world, but every Sunday morning they go and they do this like ritualistically, which I kind of love, like, because it's all about positivity and all that stuff, but it does seem a little crazy. But it's really cool. Like, I walked around that world, I put a brick in the wall and put stuff that I'm thankful for on there, and it was really neat. Before we finish up, though, I'd like to jump into a few of the questions. Let me just see if I didn't miss anything. There's a few I can probably answer in like 2 seconds. Mark asked, how big is your team to support a large virtual event like you described? Well, Mark, we were a 3-person team that are full-time, me, Joseph, and a guy named Zoran, basically for about 4 years, until we brought Matt on. We've hired other, we had Adam, who was the host of Blockchain Booze for a little while, who worked for us as an intern when he was at USC for one of our events. And we brought him on for a year full time. And he literally, his whole time with us was during quarantine. So we never worked in an office together. And then soon at the same time, we were trying to hire a director of events. Adam ended up leaving us, and Matt came on board full time. So we've never had more than 4 full-time people ever on our team, ever. Wow. And that also shows you how wasteful and inefficient most organizations are. And, you know, we're kind of insane.
I would choose to say how organized we are.
Not how organized you are.
we as a team.
But we're crazy. Joseph and I have always hacked everything together. Like, we figured out how to automate the sales process for our previous events in terms of sponsorships and things like that, where we literally had like bots as our salespeople, and only after multiple emails had gone back and forth with people did the bot introduce the potential sponsor to their boss, me, in these like automated chats and things like that. Like, we've optimized crazy stuff in the past. Then we do hire like a production company for the actual event. So there's people there like with the badges and things like that. Those people don't work full time for us. They work for us full time for like 4 days a year. But that's like production companies for the conference. Somebody
Amazing.
said, can we talk about blockchain and booze NFT projects that have popped up, i.e. the wine and whiskey tied NFT? I've seen some wine projects that have popped up, but I don't know any of them. I'm such an idiot. I have it downstairs. I have to bring it next week. But one of our regulars, John Dorfman, and Mike, aka and Dan, but also known as Sailor Gary, have launched a premium line of vodkas. And you're going to be finding out some more about that. But they were in New York last week giving people the bottles and stuff. And you can, if you have the bottle, you can mint a one-of-one special limited edition NFT, and there's some cool stuff. And they're completely, talking about redefining business models, they're completely redefining the business and distribution model for what they're doing. So I'm not going to give any secrets other than, wouldn't you want a vodka whose, distillery master distiller is an ape? Sailor Gary. I mean, I do. I've got some now, and everyone in the blockchain booze community is gonna find out more soon and probably get these bottles also. I'm gonna buy a ton for everyone. Here's a last minute question. I think this is related to the Lunar token you were talking about earlier. So let's give it up. Somebody just said, is there a quantity quota limit for utility crypto Bitcoins? I think what they're saying is they're like a hard cap of tokens and things, because they were comparing it to like all of Bitcoin will be fully mined by 2025 or whatever. Which, is that true? I thought it's going to be over time, like it's going to be so much harder and harder and harder but anyway, so is there a limit to the number of tokens? And
the max supply is 250 million. And we release 65,000 a day. And you have to think, it's not just, it's really interesting when you really think about what that number is. Because if I said there's 65,000 a day, every single day, and every 4 years it gets cut in half. And so if I look at that, we're doing that at a time. So I might say, okay, 65,000 a day, but we have now millions of users. That doesn't even equal one, not even, it's like point something per user. And so if you look at it that way, and you look at the user base growing exponentially, really at this point, it's getting harder to do anything short term. Now, if you show ongoing loyalty and keep participating, it's great. And it'll continue to be great. It won't be great for anyone that thinks they can come in and game the system and leave and dump. And so, because they won't even get to a point to be able to do that. So I'd say, like, you got to look at like there's kind of two sides to looking at a coin. There's like, okay, it's on this exchange and I can buy and sell it. And there's trading, and how many are what's the max supply? How many are available right now circulating, and all of that. But then there's the really like the DApp aspect to it. And how many users does that app have? And that's that's the kicker right there, because I can't tell you how many apps that I've seen that talk a big old game. They say so much stuff. We're the best DeFi platform that's ever been built. And then when you actually look at the Block Explorer, you're like, wait a minute, there's only 2,700 token holders. That can't be, wait, what? How can this possibly be solvent forever and make any sense from an application perspective? And so I'd say, like, when you look at kind of that circulating supply, and then you look at our user base, it's kind of a different dimension to look at. And it's sort of like, the demand is far outstripping the supply, and will be for a long time when you consider the user base. Now, I'm not talking price at all or any of that stuff. I'm just saying 250 million, we could end up with that many users at some point. So it's going to be really an interesting thing to watch this experiment unfold. And man, I can't wait to talk about some more things that we're gonna be doing, but I'm not going to do that tonight.
Well, I'll bug you and get you on. I see you, Eric. Please email me, and anybody who wants to email me, a@drapergorenholm.com. The letter A at drapergorenholm. But yeah, we're past time, and we're gonna jump into the chat. into the tables, or at least I will, and would love to hang out with whoever's here at meet.blockchainbooze.io. Where's that graphic? There it is. And come join us backstage if you're watching from somewhere else, and come hang out. I'd love to hang with you. Matt, John, any last words? Tell people where to follow you guys.
Go ahead, John.
Well, I'll join for a few minutes in the back in the tables, just for a few, but I got to run after. But lunarcrush.com, go sign up. Lunarcrush on Twitter. I don't know, we're everywhere. YouTube. We do our live streams every week. We got some amazing ones coming up. But we do live streams every week. Lunar Crush Live. We're doing Twitter Spaces tomorrow. We do a lot of live stuff. So yeah, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Even, I hate to say that, but we are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Discord, Telegram, Reddit. We're kind of everywhere.
It is everywhere. Oh, here we go. Matt, are you doing this?
I am. Are we both doing it at the same time?
No. I was like, where? Yeah, Eric, I see what you're saying. Send me an email though, because I can't catch up on DMs on LinkedIn. It's just filled with so much spam, and I will end up losing it. So email is way better. Pretty much that's the thing everywhere. Matt, what's your Twitter handle?
At mboseo, BOSEO. You can find me on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on WhatsApp, Signal, all that good stuff. Anywhere there's blockchain projects to be found, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that one guy's Tezos comment from earlier, because Matt is big in the Tezos world. I'm not finding it, but that's okay. And go to drapergorenholm.com. Go follow me on Twitter, drapergorenholm, Alon Goren, all that fun stuff. Guys, thank you so much for joining. I'm sure we'll have both Matt and John on a lot. They are both my regular wingmen here, and see you all soon. Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.